Hey guys, and welcome to another Fantasy Friday episode with me, Commander Wolfman. Well, guys, while I'm working on Kratos and Luna and a few other things, I decided to pull out another project which I'm going to be putting together the next couple of weeks. As a matter of fact, this might actually be quite a short project because there isn't going to be much to them. So, I think I briefly mentioned about these a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember now, guys. So obviously, I've had lots of things to content myself with the last couple of weeks, as you know, and a few things have been finished off. Well, let me just get to start things. So, David, you all know and love him, gave me a couple of 3D model projects that he wasn't happy with, and I'm pretty sure he wasn't happy with them because of some of the details on them. Me personally, I am not too fussed. I do like to challenge myself with various model kits, as you know, and do different paint schemes to them because, well, model building is not just an art, it's also a science because, well, basically because of the paints. You do a lot of experimenting with painting. So, I have no idea, first of all, guys, I have no idea about where any of these figures come from, let alone their origin stories. So, I'm basically taking it upon myself and then giving them my own giving them my own look to things, basically. So, although I haven't played Dark Souls, I do know the art style a bit. So I've decided I'm going to make him into a demonic double spearman, I suppose is the word for it. So he's going to have a nice crimson, red furred crimson coat, cloak to go on his back. He's going to have shining silver for most of his armor parts, so I am going to put some black in there. He's going to look very sinister once he's all said and done. The balaclava he's wearing, I'm going to try to make that look like chainmail somehow, so hopefully that will definitely look the part. Eventually, what I'm hoping to show off is, obviously this bit here is going to go in red. Once I've got the main colour of red put down for the cloak, I'm going to put a little bit of brown, give it a small wash, and then hopefully have all the details that this actually does come out with. Hopefully it will pop out and look really, really good. The top half of the cloak, however, I'm going to do a different colour. So, because I want him to look a bit like a king or, well, a leader of some sort, I'm going to paint the top half of the cloak in a sort of, well, it won't be white. Maybe I'll use a light grey for the top half before I do any washing and stuff to it. And then hopefully that will all stand out looking pretty good. Obviously, some parts of him have got skin. I was originally going to paint the same colour as I've done with our Spartan and our Goblin here, although I'm going to repaint him into a green colour because I think a green would suit him more. Again, I don't know the figures, guys, so and I have tried to look them up, but every time I do, it gives me some gobbledygook about some game that's, well, some tabletop game which I have no clue or idea about. So I'm basically just using my imagination with them all. Anyway, so he's eventually going to have green skin, but I'm going to do a sort of, like, I'm going to use the skin colour I got on my Spartan over there, but I'm also going to add just a little bit of either black, red. He's going to have like a sort of demonic look to him eventually, so his skin colour will be added. And I think, because obviously if there's a rule I do know, is you paint skin and bits and pieces like that first, otherwise you're going to constantly come over with another brush and then brush and then you'll be doing that forever and always, which you don't want to do. So that'll be the next thing that we're getting done to him. And then hopefully next time we see him, he'll be looking really mean and nasty. Well, that's the idea for him anyway. As for our goblin friend here, he's got a lot of work to do. So he's got a giant pile of treasure, junk and all sorts of bits and pieces. And as you guys can see, I've done the rubble colour already, so that's out of the way. But I've got to add things like leather, obviously wood for wood parts. It's got swords and daggers sticking out, so it's got to be some shining silver, rust and added to bits there. Got to get some ropes painted in. There's a shield, as you can see there. So he's got all sorts going on up there, and I'm going to get some serious detail done to him before doing anything else to his body. His armour might go a similar colour to our knight there, but I haven't exactly decided on if that's going to be something I'll do eventually or not with him. But first of all, like I say, first and foremost, I'm going to get his junk pile sorted out first, so that's out of the way. Now, as for our Spartan, I actually didn't realise this until I started painting him up earlier, but you guys can probably tell, and you probably could tell from when I first showed them off to you, he's actually covered in eyeballs, and he actually has a third eye sticking out of his front there. So I'm thinking, oh, he's actually more of a demon than anything else. But because I don't really want to make him into a sort of demon Spartan, I want to try and make him into a good demon, if that makes any sense. So eventually what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a wash to the eyeball part, so they obviously darken down a bit. Maybe add a bit of white first, then darken down into a slightly darker, well, darker tone basically. And then all the eyes will stand out a bit more. But eventually what I'm going to be doing to him is, I'm going to be repainting his helmet and sword, because I was originally going to go for a silver look, but I'm not too keen on that, so we're definitely going to go gold. Even his little brooch there will go gold. But first and foremost, that cloak around his top, that's going to go a nice Spartan red. Obviously I've got to repaint his shoes with leather, do the leather straps around his legs, and the armour that's around his lower half of his body there. As for his head, definitely going to paint that beard into a nice shade of black, and then add a couple of add a small shade of white to it, so it looks like a wise old Spartan. And then obviously you can't have a Spartan helmet without a nice glorious looking red mane on the back of him, so that's going to go a nice, and I do mean a nice shade of red. Eventually the sword is also going to have some nice bits of leather on there, might splat some blood of the blood gods on there, so it makes it look like as if he's been using it, and we'll go from there with him basically. And then obviously the last bits to talk about are their actual stands. So that one over there actually belongs to our Spartan. I've just painted up in a light colour of, this bit. It's basically this white I've used. I'll go through the colours a bit later on, guys, once I've got them all finished up. But that's the white I've been using on this stand for now. As you can tell, it works, but it's not... It needs a bit more... There's got to be a bit more done to it, so probably going to repaint that and do some other stuff to it again, but eventually that will have a very Athenian look to it, or Spartan look to it, and then he'll be ready for him when he's finished. The other two stands, one of them obviously is for the for our troll there, so he's got junk and bits and pieces floating around him. I've painted up all the stone parts already, but just like him, got to add some wood colour and shiny bits and pieces, bits for the rope before that is complete. Then I will give that a bit of a wash before I put him onto it, so it stands out a bit better. And then the last one, ironically, is for our Demon Lord there. So effectively that's finished. Didn't really want to do too much to this, because once he is on top of that, it's going to stand out pretty well. So I've kept it, stone and muddy, and giving it a bit of a grimy look. In case you guys are wondering, for this particular project though, when it comes to the paintwork, I used a little bit of this one, which is Vallejo Dark Sea Grey, and I also used this one, which isn't Vallejo, but that's the colour in question, in case you guys are wondering. So I mixed them, a little bit of both, mixed them together, and then splattered the whole thing in that, and then I used a null oil wash to make everything pop and stand out. So effectively that stand is finished, so I'm happy with that. It's just at the moment you can see it's still drying in places, so it's not 100% dry just yet. So that basically concludes this update really, guys, for this one. Don't expect an update next week on these, because obviously Luna's going to be taking place next week. I reckon we'll probably have an update for these around either the end of July, maybe the beginning of August next time you guys see these. I mean, considering the Kratos is nearly finished, and I'm already starting to work on the Leman Russ, so yeah, I reckon somewhere in August will be another update for these, maybe even finishing them, but we'll see how it all goes. But for now, guys, I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode into things. I do apologise for the Fantasy Friday episodes being a little over the place when it comes to projects, but as I had mentioned briefly before, I'm sure I mentioned this briefly before when it comes to Fantasy Fridays, not every episode will be the same thing, because I like working on multiple stuff when it comes to the fantasy stuff. In a small news flash though, in case you guys are wondering, yes, I am working on the Mammoth Tank, and we'll be working on some other projects a bit later on, but at the moment, this, the Kratos, the Leman Russ, Luna, it all takes place at the moment. So, yeah, Mammoth Tank will be coming up, but not yet. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Have a nice weekend, wherever you're from. And look after yourselves and take care. Ta-ta for now.